How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk about stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to do the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. And today we're going to be talking about Palantir. You guys know how bullish I am about this company, but we have noticed there's more volatility going inside the markets, and I see even an opportunity to get in at a really good price. When we first brought it up, I was talking about, hey, if you can get it in that $20 area, or even if you can get it below that, you're definitely looking good, and it looks like it might even revisit that. But let's first get into the agenda. So what we're going to be covering today is actually some recent news that came out for Palantir as far as management. And I think this is key in regards to growing their business, especially in the biotech space. After we cover that, then I'm going to be doing the technical analysis. We want to see where the support and where the resistance areas actually are. This is helpful for long-term investors and as well as traders. Also, we're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. The reason why I feel this is key, we want to know, are institutions loading up? Do they actually have some belief in regards to Palantir's long-term potential? Because as we know, institutions will not invest in a company if they do not see a potential return on their investment. And as far as the short interest, we want to see, is there any short squeeze potential when it comes to Palantir? After all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts afterwards. So let's get into it. So we're now on Business Wire, and I wanted to kind of go over the recent news that came out yesterday for Palantir. So Palantir announces hiring of the first USG Chief Medical Officer. So Denver Business Wire. Palantir Technology today announced the hiring of Dr. William J. Kassler, MD, MPH, as its first U.S. government Chief Medical Officer, bringing years of clinical and public health expertise to Palantir as it continues its expansion in the private and public health sectors. Dr. Kassler is joining Palantir from IBM Watson Health and worked throughout his year at the intersection of clinical care and population health. He will lead the public health and life sciences teams across Palantir's USG and international business. Over the past few years, Palantir has grown its healthcare business and in recent months made significant new senior hires with deep domain expertise in life sciences, pharmaceuticals, and public health. Dr. Kassler and the expanded team will continue to build on Palantir's success in public and commercial healthcare around the globe, putting its technology to work to solve the world's most important health problems. Palantir has played a key role in mitigating the global COVID-19 pandemic, supporting more than 100 organizations in their response to the pandemic and helping the US and the UK with vaccine distribution, said Shyam Sankar, Palantir's COO. Palantir software has also been used in drug discovery, biotechnology, scientific research, and to mitigate disparities in public health. Dr. Kassler will play a key role in ensuring our healthcare work continues to prosper. Palantir's ability to lead so many international public health initiatives from the start of this pandemic was truly impressive and serves as a model for the type of technology investments governments around the world need to make, said Dr. Kassler. I'm inspired by Palantir's mission and team and excited to get to work. To emerge from this pandemic stronger, society will need to make significant improvements to how we approach public health. Dr. Kassler was IBM Watson's Health Deputy Chief Health Officer and Chief Medical Officer for Government Health and Human Services and led their population health efforts. Before joining the private sector, he was a Chief Medical Officer for the New England region of the Centers of Medicare and Medical Services and the State Health Officer for the New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services. Dr. Kassler started his career at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. He received his MD from the University of Massachusetts Medical Health School and an MS in Nutrition from Case Western Reserve University and an MPH from the University of California, Berkeley. He completed a primary care internal medicine residency at Brown University and was a Robert Wood Johnson Clinical Scholar at the University of California, San Francisco. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Palantir. So it ended up closing today at $21.62, being down 3.0%. 0.05% on the day. On the ranges of where it fluctuated, on the low, it was $20.87, and then on the high, testing $22.20. So one of the things you want to take a look at right away, especially since we believe in the long-term prospects of Palantir on this channel, are areas of support. So one thing that we did see today, it did a great job actually bouncing off this $21 area of support. Yes, it got to $20.87, but as you can see, it recovered fairly quickly here. So that's why we can honestly say that that $21 area is definitely an area of support for Palantir. If it decides to pull back even further, as you notice from the volatility inside the markets, then definitely look out for an entry somewhere around the $20 range. But I do believe this is pretty much the bottom for Palantir, unless it's able to get down to 19. Again, that just presents another bigger opportunity, but I do feel like this is the bottom, because as you can see back here on March the 5th, it got down to here, like literally around $20.08. So that's one of the reasons why you want to keep an eye on this stock. But I feel like if you can get it anywhere in the $20 range, you really can't go wrong. Another thing to take into consideration are the current areas of resistance. So you can see clearly here, we have some resistance right at this $24 level. And this is an area we'd be looking to break, because once it's able to break this $24 level, then we can start seeing a bullish trend. So far from our indicators, we are below them all. So we're below the 21-day, we're below the 100-day, and as well the 200-day. So it's definitely looking bearish here. So that's why I gave you those numbers just a while ago about, hey, if it decides to pull back, look out for those areas in the 20s, and if you can catch it in the 19s, even better. Now on Fintel.io, we're going to be taking a look at the recent institutional ownership for Palantir, and as well as the short interest information. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we could see right away definitely a lot of activity among institutions when it comes to Palantir. As far as for the May the 4th alone, we have 3 institutions that ended up closing their positions, and one of them actually being a put position. But as we could see, as of for the May the 4th, we had Trainer Capital Management go in with almost 43,000 shares on Palantir. So that's definitely a bullish outlook. Even if we take a look at Sage Rhino Capital going in with 53,000 shares for Palantir. And even if we scroll back and take a look at the month of May alone, especially near the ending of April, look how this is looking. Let's start from April the 30th here, and it actually goes even further back, but just take a look. April 30, look at this. Institutions are definitely bullish, and they're not going to be investing if they do not see a return on their investment. So this is looking really good. So as we take a look at the short interest information, the short volume ratio is around 19%. So it is below 21%, which is the number that we tend to look for. But at the same time, being under that 21% is not a bad thing either. If we take a look at the short shares availability, it stands at around 10 million. And if we look at the short borrow free rate, it's fairly low at 0.25%. As far as the short volume ratio history, you can see here from April the 20th going all the way up to May the 3rd, it has never been above 21%. And like I said, this is not a bad thing at all. Usually when the short interest is high on a particular stock, especially just taking into consideration short volume ratio to be exact, that doesn't mean that there's a lot of negative sentiment around the particular stock. But in this case, hey, it is below 21%, so negative sentiment is really not that high for Palantir. Hope you guys found this helpful. So for my final thoughts for Palantir, hey, I definitely like the long-term potential of this stock, and it's part of the reasons why I brought it to you guys. Another thing that I want to go over, we're seeing institutions are definitely showing some bullish sentiment for Palantir as well. And I feel like it's definitely underrated in the data analytics space. Yes, it does get a lot of social attention, but one thing we need to understand, this is a growing company, right? In the tech space, and we know we have a pullback that's going on inside the market with a lot of volatility, and a lot of people are questioning, hey, is this stock actually worth the time? I feel if you're going to be holding Palantir for the next 2 to 5 years, it is a great investment. Another thing that we need to understand in regards to the management, the addition of the chief medical officer, I feel this is great in regards to them expanding and actually having further penetration in the biotech space. The reason why this is so crucial, if they can end up landing some big biotech companies, then we know there's definitely going to be other companies that are going to be following suit, and this will definitely benefit the bottom line for Palantir. We know they're great at getting those government contracts and so forth, but we want to see what's happening more so on the commercial side as well. And I feel like really cementing themselves and bringing in some expertise in the medical space, I think is going to be helping out a lot for the long term. Another thing that we also do need to understand when it comes to Palantir and as far as the software that they offer, it's a big investment up front for any company that's getting involved. So part of the reasons with Alex Karp, he's going out there and he's dropping these meetings, he's letting them know, hey, here's what's beneficial about the product. Here's how it brings value. So he has to be out on the road direct selling Palantir's flagship product. So just taking that into consideration, the fact that there's going to be more deals coming through for Palantir is part of the reasons why I am very bullish. Yes, the market may not realize it in its whole entirety, but they will end up seeing it as more deals end up closing. And we do know in regards to earnings, that's going to be something to look out for. But just taking into consideration future earnings and the growth side of this company, hey, I like what I'm seeing. We also do notice of the fact Kathy Woods is loading the boat on Palantir as well, and it's no surprise. And the fact that she has a forward-looking type of vision with her investments, I feel like as investors, that's something we need to take a look at as well. We don't have to follow everything that she's doing, but at the same time, it's good to take some nuggets whenever you can. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.